The fact that we're in 2026 and we still have people like Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Paige, and the Bellas, or specifically Brie, still being a talking point when we have NXT call ups to be called up, but then the NXT call ups are losing both matches out of. So Ricky Starks has lost two matches so far, and so has Sol Ruka after being debuted on the main roster recently. And then we got Roman Reigns, we got Brie Bella and Paige and Brock Lesnar being talking points of the show. When that's just terrible creative for the people who. That's what I mean. They don't build stars. You have Sol Ruka out here talking about how I've only been doing this for 4 years. That's a long time. She's won gold. She's done all these things. She's been a human highlight reel. Had a match against Bailey at Saturday night's main event, and they kind of diminish everything that she's done, and kind of just say, yeah, well, all that means nothing, and then they have her lose both matches for really no reason because she wasn't even in a story with either of the women she lost to. But yet, but yet you have. It's strange to me. No stars can be built. And also, we start off the show with the same exact segment that we've seen for the past month. We've seen Roman Reigns get out of the same Jeep SUV. We've seen him be handed his title because he doesn't want to carry the title around despite being the world champion. Probably because he can still sense Punk's sack on the championship strap. And then we have just him talking to Adam Pearce, literally the same exact segment every single week with Roman. He gets out of the car, he closes the door, he asks somebody for his title, he talks to Adam Pearce, he goes down, and then he has either Jacob go into the ring or Roman go into the ring. We have Jacob and Roman brawl. We have Jacob put the tongue and death grip on Roman. But this time it was different. Finally, it wasn't a copy and paste. But then it turned into a copy and paste because instead of doing the tongue and death grip and Jacob stands tall, we have the Usos come out and do what they did to Kevin Owens at 2023's Royal Rumble. And then we have Jacob doing what Roman did when he's saying, travel combat, but then it was originally Roman Reigns talking about backlash. So we just have them have the same exact segment. Like they even laid the same. Like I could put these pictures side by side, and then we have Roman on top of the stage now instead of Jacob on top of the stage. It's the same. So pretty much instead of doing a copy and paste from the segment they already did, they just did a copy and paste segment from 2023, and then they ended the segment with the same way that they ended it before Backlash, which was Roman laying in the ring, but now it's Jacob laying in the ring. That's it. And just have the Uso, and then just have the Bloodline 5.0. Like, that's it. That's all. That's kind of sad once you think about it, because this story had a lot of potential, but, nothing really can have potential when it's bad creative. And then we have JD McDonald versus Finn Balor in a street fight, but there's only one problem. WWE doesn't have street fights. WWE likes to have kendo stick, Slim Jim table, steel chair, trash can with the trash can lid fights, because there's no streets in these fights. They don't even leave. Like, if they do go into the crowd, they go back to if they do go into the crowd, they don't even go up the stairs. They just go to where the production is and behind the timekeepers area. Then they head right back to the ringside, and that's what they did. They headed right back to ringside, right back into the ring. There's no such thing as street fights in WWE anymore. There's just Extreme Rules matches labeled as street fights, or what they'll do is get lazy with it. If they're in Los Angeles, they'll say Los Angeles street fight, Australian street fight, Pennsylvania street fight, Pennsylvania street fight. We're in New York street fight. We're in Chicago street fight. Indiana street fight. So they just put the city or town in front of the word street fight, but it's not even a street fight at that point. But anyways, nobody cares about this match. Nobody cares about this match, but I'm just gonna say I didn't care about this match because it's not a street fight, and plus we've seen this same match over and over again. That's why I'm saying I don't care about this match, because it's just a rematch. It's just a reskin of a match that we already had. A literal reskin. It's not even a rematch. It's just a reskin, because it's the same match that we had before, but just an added layer on top of it. So it's just a reskin at this point. It's like we're playing Fortnite and then we just have, I don't know, just I don't know, man. We just have this. We just have a different skin, but with the same abilities. But then we get Seth Rollins cutting a nonsensical promo, and the reason why I say this makes no sense is because Seth Rollins was fighting Austin Theory that night, which was last night. What's on this night? So Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins was set for the main event, but then Seth Rollins was talking about how Braun Breaker needs to prove himself, but he did. He beat you. So not only did Braun Breaker beat you, you didn't even end up fighting him. So what you didn't even end up fighting him that night. So why is Seth Rollins telling Braun Breaker to prove himself when he's facing Austin Theory? Didn't even face Braun Breaker. How can he prove himself if he's not even in a match with you? And then on top of that, he beat you. So he already proved himself at Backlash. So anyways, after that, we get Sol Ruka and Becky Lynch having a promo. And then they pretty much write Sol Ruka to completely downplay herself, as expected. They say Sol Ruka says, "Yeah, well, I'm new here and I've been losing a lot, but that doesn't mean anything because I've only been doing this for 4 years. 4 years is a very long time to be doing something, especially wrestling. Sol Ruka's great." So the fact that they had her just say that, just justify her losing 2 matches that she shouldn't have been losing in the first place. Also, because she wasn't even in a story with Liv Morgan, they just had her lose for no reason when she wasn't even signed to Raw. That was just an exhibition that she just lost for no reason. Then we had her lose against Io, but the only problem with losing at Io is that they were both faces, and the crowd didn't care about this match because they didn't know who to cheer and who to boo because they were just 2 baby faces thrown into a match for no reason. And then Sol Ruka ended up losing that match for no reason, even though she was in a rivalry with Becky Lynch. She was a heel. So shouldn't they have Becky Lynch cost Sol the match by interference instead of just having Sol Ruka lose her match by a fruit roll-up? That's stupid. It makes no sense. So then on top of that, Sol Ruka loses 2 matches for no reason, absolutely no reason. And then we have her bring it up as if it's a good thing. You diminish your call-ups, and then the call-ups don't even have star power like that anymore because of how badly the main roster... The NXT call-ups are only as good as the creative, and unfortunately, Triple H can't build stars, and it's clear because he can't build stars if he's diminishing them every single thing they've done. Sol Ruka, I don't even know, man. I'm not gonna say she's cooked, but just how she's been written, it's just, I don't know, man. It's honestly kind of disrespectful to her character. But enough of that. Enough of me trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. We get a segment between the division backstage, and Braun Breaker does the nasally thing when he makes fun of Seth Rollins, and then that's literally it. And then we have El Grande Americanos making fun of Lucha Libre, and then the Raw audience doesn't understand it because they don't like it, because we don't like it, because it's obvious that this is just, bro, constant rematches of the same match. This is just nothing but filler to get to May 30th. But at the same time, this is just a huge disservice to each and every single person involved. Just, I don't know, man. This is just a huge disrespect to Lucha Libre itself and six of the people that are there. So as far as that's concerned, I don't even care about this. I'm not even going to cover it. And then we go to Otis and Tozawa, usually being the people who do the ads, so not too shocking. Just Otis and Tozawa, 2 people who had such potential to be great stars, but WWE doesn't really care about star power. They just care about, who they want to care about. So actually, now that I think about it, since they fumbled their momentum, I wouldn't really think they care about Tozawa or Chad or, anyways. It's just really unfortunate that whenever there's a food sponsor or ad, or Bert Kreischer and Otis or whatever, pulling their shirts off and slapping each other's bellies and rubbing on each other's stomachs, there's always, they got Otis or Tozawa doing stupid things, or on SmackDown we got R-Truth doing stupid things. They just can't catch a break. It's really unfortunate. Because whenever Otis and Tozawa are on TV, they always put on great matches, and then we have people saying, "Oh my gosh, Otis and Tozawa had a great match," or Tozawa, he put on a banger. Does this mean he's getting a push? And then Tozawa's not seen for like 5 months, so that's a no. And then we get LA Knight talking to to the Usos, and then LA Knight talks about the Oofalafa or whatever, and then Jimmy Uso is laughing in his head, but then Jay Uso's laughing out loud, like, you know, so he has to like turn around and cover his face multiple times because he's breaking character. That was good to see. That was pretty funny. And then nothing happened because nothing happened after that. I mean, LA they were serious when they talked about not having any plans for LA Knight, because LA Knight's just going backstage and talking to people and just trying to start feuds and start alliances and start rivalries and stuff, because they had nothing for him. Because originally he was supposed to be, you know, facing Gunther or whatever, or having something with Gunther, but then they were like, we'll just put him with Cody, even though that it would have been a great thing to have Ricky Starks with Cody Rhodes, because they had nothing for Ricky. So they just said, okay, well, let's have you lose to a fruit roll up after you got called up to the main roster in a meaningless exhibition with Carmelo Hayes. We have nothing for Carmelo Hayes, so him and Ilya are off TV for an eternity. Man, WWE main roster is so cooked. But yeah, people refuse to watch NXT, even though that's the best brand. But anyways, we get Ethan Page talking to Michael Cole. He got a good promo. Nothing else to say about this. We have Roxanne and Raquel, and then they lose to Brie and. Bro, I swear, they keep saying Roxanne Perez is the prodigy. Roxanne Perez is the prodigy. Roxanne Perez is the prodigy. She lost the most matches in 2025 out of anyone in the company. She loses here again tonight with a fruit roll up in one of the I swear, Paige has not been it since she's gotten back, and neither has these women's tag matches before she's gotten back. So I don't know. Like, this is probably like some of the worst television is whenever the women's matches are on, like whenever the women's tag matches are on, because they don't give the women's tag creative anything. Well, they don't give anyone anything. Like, look at the main event scene, you know. But and NXT call ups. I'm talking about as far as like they don't give any effort into the women's tag scene. So these matches are usually not cared about by the audience in the arenas or outside, you know, and people are like, well, to be fair, the audience in the arenas matter. The IWC is just a vocal minority. And then you have the women wrestling and no one caring because they don't put any effort into creative for the women or any good storylines. So yeah, Paige and Brie Bella retain, nobody cares. And then we go to LA Knight and Seth Rollins having a conversation because they have nothing for LA Knight. So LA Knight's just, instead of having a story, he's just like saying words to people. Like, he's just going on different side quests, and he's just able to choose which side quest he's going to, I guess. And then we go to an open challenge, and then we have Brock Lesnar returning. I figured this would happen eventually because they either Brock Lesnar was going to have to come back, you know, like creative was probably like, we got nothing for Obafemi, so y'all just want to bring back Brock, we'll pay him more. Hey Brock, you want to come back? Sure, okay. Yeah, good. So yeah, we don't have to come up with anything creative for Obafemi after we retired Brock Lesnar, you know. So yeah, we'll just and then eventually we'll have, you know, Brock break. I really hope they don't 50-50 book this match to where Oba loses to Brock, and then Brock loses to Oba, and then Oba loses to Brock, and then Brock loses to Oba, and then Brock loses. It would be like a Naito and Okada thing, you know, just losing back and forth. Man, I figured that they wouldn't, and that's exactly what I thought. See, they've done nothing to elevate Obafemi ever since he retired Brock Lesnar. Having meaningless matches with Grayson Waller and Los Garzas wasn't going to cut it, you know. So yeah, they had nothing and they were going to fail Obafemi if they didn't bring Brock Lesnar back. They had nothing for him, so it might as well just, you know, pay Brock Lesnar extra to come back. I already figured that this was going to be the case. I already knew it. I already knew it. So then after that, we get Adam Pearce talking about how he needs a drink, because that's Adam Pearce's entire personality is yelling, doing nothing, and joking about alcoholism. That's really it. Really, like there's nothing else of substance here. So then Paul Heyman calls Brock Lesnar Brock Lesnar. Yeah. And then we get some advertisements for Saturday night's main event. So we get Sol Ruca versus Becky Lynch with no title on the line. Okay. And then we get the Irresistible Forces versus Paige and Brie Bella. Yep. And then, they wonder why they have to bring back people like Brock Lesnar, man. I tell you. Like they don't even try with these at all. And then we get Division versus the Street, so nothing but Raw matches pretty much. And then on top of that, they're going to have Raw matches for Clash in Italy. Pay-per-views back to back to back to back with no and they can't even build proper things or let anything breathe or have anything make sense because all these events, all these premium, no, I'm not gonna say that garbage, all these pay-per-views are so close together. So then we get shower ring curtain jacket Seth Rollins, and when he jumps up and down in that jacket, it sounds like a bag of dimes. And then he's talking to Angelo Dawkins, and then they say words, and then Austin Theory and Seth Rollins have a rematch because they've fought already. I was even in attendance for their match for the United States Championship because dude cashed in on the tried to cash in on the United States Championship, but then he ended up winning or whatever. This was like late 2022. So yeah, rematch of a rematch of a rematch of a rematch for the main event. Seth Rollins, he wins with a pedigree, and then Braun Breaker comes in and spears everyone. And by everyone, I just mean Montez, and he only targets the Geminis, Seth and Montez. And then he attacks Seth, and then Seth just. And then we end the show with Seth looking angry and huffing and puffing. So, yeah, absolutely nothing happened on the show except for Brock returning. But that's it. Like, absolutely nothing. So, we went 2.5 hours and only one thing happened. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, because, May 23rd, we're having a nothing burger of a show, too. So, unless you care about the B-Fab and Mia Yim match versus, Rhea and Alexa. Besides that, yeah, absolutely nothing of substance, and this is the go-home show to Saturday night's main event. So, yeah, that's it really. Nothing at all. Just a bunch of rematches, and reoccurring segments. Yep, that's about it. Nothing else.